Hi guys, I'm here in my garage and I do have a new patient. And it's my 10 kilowatt hours lithium ferrophosphate pack. It's now 2 years and 3 months old. And I've just found out that the state of health is 78%, which of course is catastrophic. If you're watching my channel, you know this is now the third lithium iron phosphate battery which failed after quite a short time. I'm starting to distrust this chemistry here. Yeah, this system I have installed in December 2023. The equipment came straight from China. This was equipment provided by a distributor there. There are several issues with this pack in general, which we are talking about later. But what is the problem now? I made a full discharge because I noticed that some of the cells are showing weakness. Like for example, now you can see cell number 5, cell number 9, cell number 13. We are now charging slowly back up. So I did a full discharge test until it hit the under voltage protection, so that it has shown now the result. And we have a state of health which of course always have been at 100%. As long as you do not discharge completely. The BMS does not know the capacity of the battery, but now it is clear 78%. Let me just show you how I found out about the problem. Then we just open up the battery and I show you why in general this battery pack I do not like at all. Okay guys, but first things first, just to clarify that there is no misunderstanding. You know, here on my property I have several battery systems and all of them, they are taking some share of the work here. But while I'm going a little bit hard maybe on some of my systems, this one actually had the easiest part. So this system was mainly responsible to provide backup power for our water system. And there's also one guest bungalow connected. So I have set a reserve of 30% on this system. So the depth of discharge in the worst case was always just 70%. And because this battery would usually just deal with the water system, it would only discharge by 2 kilowatt hours a day on any day. And if the bungalow is occupied, which would maybe happen like half of the year, then it would go down to 30%. But anyway, the battery, the only one source of charging is a 3 kilowatt PV array, which can provide a maximum of around 2.2 kilowatts. So the charge current was never more than, let's say, 42 amps, which is around 0.2 C. At discharging, I have also set a limit to go slow on it. So this would never discharge with more than, let's say, 2.5 kilowatts. But we are very far away of the 0.5 C for charge and discharge, what is actually set as the limit here in the BMS or stated on the sticker which is placed on the battery. So easy job for this battery, but it's still degraded so quickly. So how did I find out, or how did this actually develop? You know, inside here is a BMS from PACE. PACE BMSs are usually passive balancing devices. These are quite good in my opinion. Many of you prefer active balancers, but let's note something here. If there is an active balancer built into this pack, I would probably not noticed the problem yet. I would have noticed it maybe in 1 year. Why is that? Because I have noticed the issue on the top now when the battery was full. Because now, after more or less exactly 2 years, I noticed that when the battery was full, there were about 3 cells running away on the top, leaving all the other cells very far behind. And the effect was so strong that the balancer of this BMS could not keep up anymore. And that was how I actually saw that there is a problem here, right? So when I noticed this and I saw I could not get rid of the high cell voltages with this passive balancer, I went around 1 month ago and ordered an active balancer. The active balancer I have just built into the pack about 3 days ago. It is an active balancer from JK, and within those 3 days now it equalized all cells on top when the battery was full. But this, of course, just moved all the problems towards the bottom side. And because I have a reserve of 30% here on the battery, the issues on the bottom you cannot see that easily, because at 30% usually all the cells are still somewhere in the flat part of the charging in this charging curve. So I have set the discharge limit lower, and then I saw that the same cells which have shown weak on the top have just started to fall off the cliff on the bottom. So then I made the full discharge test, and you can see it always here on the side, the cell voltages and how the BMS then cut out the discharge at around 22% and then calibrate it at a state of health of 78%. So that's why I say, if you're using active balancers, you might notice problems much later than when you use a BMS with a passive balancer, because once you get problems with individual cells and the passive balancer cannot keep up with those problems, then you know that there is an issue with your battery. When I bought this battery, I actually made a mistake. Initially, I was only interested in buying an inverter. I was looking for this day hybrid inverter. And then they just asked me if I need a battery for it too. And I said, okay, what do you have? I need a 48 volt battery, right? And what I didn't know at the time is that in China they have 2 different kind of 48 volt batteries. So they were really making a difference by the nominal voltage. 48 volts means a 15S LFP battery. And then they have the 51.2 volts, that's what we understand as a 48 volt battery, which has 16 cells in series, right? I then asked them also to send me pictures from inside the battery, and what they sent me at that time was a picture of a 51.2 volt battery with these 16 cells inside. And those 16 cells which were built in that pack were the prismatic cells which we know usually are inside of this. But because this was a 15S, a different battery, it was not what was on the photo. And what's inside here, I will show you just now. Yeah, and here it is. This is a pack built with pouch cells. We have 3 packs here with 4 cells in series and 1 pack with 3 cells in series, and all of those are connected by jumpers. And this is also but we will just see in a moment the reason why this pack, in my opinion, is in such a bad condition. The failure of this pack actually is a result of a very bad design. I would never ever design a battery pack like this anymore, because this is a similar concept I had on my old AC power wall, where I had this 3 in series, then jumper, 3 in series, etc. right? And the concept is exactly the same. And the problem with this concept is that while inside this pack, those 4 which are in series are laser welded together, you always have these jumpers as a connection between these packs here, and the jumper is nothing else than an added resistor, which at the end is heating up. And what it means, that here is some extra heat generated, and what it does to these cells, we will just see when we're looking at the cells which are actually the weak ones. So here you can see in a close shot how this looks like. On the down, here is the pace BMS with the communication. Here I've added in this free space the active balancer from JK, which was then dropping the voltages of those weak cells. But as you can see, we have here always the pack, then the jumper wire to the next one, jumper wire to the next one, jumper wire to the next one. So which cells are now the problematic and the weak ones? If you look into the table, which you can see there, it is always the last and the first inside of these packages of 4, right? So that means it is exactly the cell which is always connected to the jumper. And in my opinion, this jumper created extra heat and put it into that cell to which it was connected. So there's an extra heat stress to exactly every cell which does have a jumper connected. If you look at the other ones, the other cells which are in between, you can see they all have 3.15 volts, and the last cell of the package is somewhere in the in-between state, and the first one of each package is then a weak one. So that one must have then got most of the damage. Probably that will be the minus of the cell, of the first cell, which is the most affected. The last one, cell number 15, is also showing a little bit of weakness. That is where the total plus is connected. But that jumper is also quite a long one, so it is most probably also creating a lot of extra heat, which is then absorbed by the cell. So yeah, what can we do now? There's not many options. The distributor of the product is out of business anyway, so, but it's also like after 2 years out of warranty. Repair, there's around 6 weak cells inside here. You could take out weak cells, then get some other 200 amp hour cells and reconstruct, rebuild some kind of battery out of this. That's of course no problem. But in reality, I will have to live with a degrading battery here again. I have set the charge current now to maximum 35 amps and the discharge to 50 amps. So with the charge current we are still far below 0.25 C, and the discharge current is as well somewhere around a maximum of 0.3 C. So I've just adjusted for the lower capacity now. At some point, when this is degrading further and further, it will just fly out as the other batteries, but it's really bad for these LFP cells in my opinion. I had the lithium polymer pack, for which it took more than 8 years to reach 70%, and this one will make it in 3. LFP, I don't know what I should say about it again. This is pack number 3, which is rapidly degrading. You know, I'm here in a hot climate, but still we are here in the garage. There's no direct sun. This room is following ambient temperature more or less. Of course, now it's probably 35 degrees inside here. The battery with this low current is reaching somewhere around 38 to maximum 40 degrees Celsius when it's really hot. But that should be actually no big problem for lithium iron phosphate still, but it is in reality, as it seems, a very big problem. The design of this battery pack is absolutely not optimal. Also these wires, here I can read 8 AWG. I don't know how much it is in square millimeters, but I will show you this after I look it up. This is times 2, but that does not seem a lot to me for 100 amps maximum. So never ever I would build a pack like this. There's absolutely nothing to blame onto the BMS. The BMS did a great job as long as it could. So yeah, that is it again. Not the best news. I hate it really. Please leave some comments. What would you do now if you are in this situation? Would you have some sort of idea what could extend now so that the life is not over right soon in 1 or 2 years? This is not cheap. The battery has cost $1,500. So throwing this away after 2 or 3 years, that's not really an option. Yeah, for me, as I said, nothing more to say. If you have some ideas, please leave it on the down. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and I see you at the next one.